Hey everybody, hope you guys doing all right. So, I want to talk about levitation and spiritual protection. So, if you try to, you don't try, but when I think about things like that, from a scientific standpoint, there are ways that you can make sense of these type of things from like physical standpoint. When you look at energy and vibrations, and that we live in a realm that's full of energy all around us all the time, and we ourselves are also made of energy. Our soul is an energy makeup. Even our bodies, it could be said our energy too is just a different level of density of energy. Some people will say that. I don't know. Some part of me feels like just calling it matter and separating that between the soul, but either or, we're made up of energy ourselves. Without the energy of our souls, this body does not move forward. So thinking from things from like, that type of perspective, and that we have a soul, and that God created the soul and thus everything, and it's the energy that helps everything move. From that type of perspective, at least that's how I look at things. And again, I mean, like telepathy and all these things, the reason why people are able to connect with stuff is because energy is able to connect with all matter. It's all about levels of connectivity. So if I have something that's more conducive to my electromagnetism than another object, like let's say a precious metal, is probably going to respond more to my touch than something that, like a piece of garbage or something that's just filthy or just not very receptive to electromagnetic energy. That's going to help me have more of an ability to manipulate that item. Now, if I have more of a good connection with my own electromagnetivity, if my chakras are aligned, if I'm not clogged up, if I'm healthy, if I'm not damning myself with all sorts of words and actions and deeds that are damning me, I'm going to have a higher sorry if my words are all fucking weird. I'm going to have a higher electromagnetic flow than if I were damned up. So upon these assumptions, because this is how I go about my day in the world. This is how I see things. To levitate, essentially you would have to be able to, with your own energy and your ability to suck in the energies around you, because I think that's part of it too, is, this is why we fluctuate. Like I fluctuate feelings. Sometimes I feel very powerful. Sometimes I feel very weak. There's a variable that's happening that's allowing me to feel these different feelings. So I know I can differentiate. I know I can switch my states. I know that when I'm in a higher vibrational state, things like pain, like when I hurt myself, when my blood's flowing, and I'm in the middle of working out and things like this, I hardly feel pain. And I've come to realize it's the adrenaline, it's the energy running through me, it's the blood moving at that speed, it's my own power that is like acting like almost an energetic force field, you could say, and it's actually superseding and overpowering the pain. But when I'm in a depressed state, when I'm feeling very weak, that pain, it can hurt. It can really hurt. And I'll be like, fuck, man, I really don't want to feel that. And a lot of the times it's because I'm already so overwhelmed with my own emotional pain. Taking on that extra pain is just that much more pain. And then because my blood is so slow or heavy or cold, or I'm not moving very much, or I'm in a stagnant state of being, like I don't have that extra currency of energy to help propel and push away that pain, or to help myself compensate and move over it through my neurons, because the pain it all goes back to your nerves. This is why things like opiates, that's all they're doing, is they're messing with your nerve centers in your brain, and that's what's telling you that there's no pain. They're not actually doing anything to the wound. The wound is still there. It's just you're taking a substance that's telling your nerves that, hey, it's okay, you don't got to freak out, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. And because these things keep telling you that, you don't feel the pain. This is why some people, when they get to very high levels of enlightenment, they're able to do these type of things without any type of opiates, because they've learned how to actually manipulate their own neurons and their own nerves. And this is what I think some very high spiritual practitioners and other practitioners have learned to do. And this is what allows them to do things like levitate, and to move things with telekinesis, and to do all sorts of other types, even perhaps, create energy balls. But it all goes down to your energetic flow, and in my opinion,